Today, we're going to talk about the number one reason you are suffering, you are struggling, things that are holding you back in your life. And if you hang out to the end of the video, I'll give you a way to flip it around. So, the honest truth is, you are punishing yourself, you are punishing others around you, you are denying yourself love, and you are denying others love. And so, what this means is that when we make a mistake in life, we suffer from it hundreds of times over. Animals only suffer once when they make a mistake because they let it go immediately. They make the mistake, and whatever the immediate ripple effect from that is what they're left with and what they're dealt with. But as humans, when we make a mistake or we have an action, there's a ripple effect that goes out. But then because we remember ourselves and we tend to be harsh on ourselves, we suffer from it hundreds of times over. There's an aspect within us called the judge or the inner critic that loves to point out the things that we've made mistakes about, or the things that embarrass us, or the times that we maybe have lost control of our emotions, whether it was into sadness or anger or over excitement, and we embarrassed ourselves or overshared or did something we're not proud of. So when we lose control of our emotions or we give in to our emotions, then we can sometimes harm ourselves. And this doesn't mean that emotions are bad, but as humans, we are driven by our emotional state, not that we drive our emotions. And so taking an accountability for our emotions makes a huge difference, but also not punishing ourselves every time we do something wrong in our own belief system. When I say wrong, I'm referring to our own way we view ourselves, the way that what we think is right and wrong, the way we think we should have shown up or not shown up. And so the number one way to flip this around right off the bat is realize you are perfect exactly as you are. There is nothing you are doing wrong in any shape or form. And that whether you're having a hard time or you're emotionally upset, you're still a perfect being and there's nothing that you are doing that is wrong. And so part of this too is that as humans, when we remember things, we pull it back up and we look at it and we're like, "Arr!" And then we put it back on the shelf in our brain. And then we take it out again off the shelf into our present moment and our memory. We're looking at it. And that's influenced by our current emotional state. So when we look back at things, even if it was just 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, we are affected by it. And it's based on how our emotional state affects the perception we have of it. And so then we're reconfiguring it like in a Rubik's Cube, and then we're putting it back onto the shelf in a new way. So the next time we remember it, it still is holding that energy, that vibration of how our emotional state was the last time we looked at it. And so more we punish ourselves, we are denying love for ourselves. More that we view others and we judge others a certain way, we are punishing them. And by punishing, I mean we are denying love. We are denying love from ourselves and denying love of others based on what we think should be happening. And so when you think about yourself and you look at yourself, allow yourself to live in grace. Allow yourself to be okay with making mistakes. Yes, learn from them, adapt to them, but do not beat yourself up. In core shamanism, we call this parasites, and there's a lot deeper path we can go down about the parasites, but parasites are something that is attached to us, that is feeding on us and affecting us emotionally or mentally or spiritually. There are physical parasites as well, and that may be a video for another time about health, but the parasites are about our own viewpoints, our own belief system that has come from whether it's something we've adopted from our parents or from some influence that we're listening to or reading about. And then we adopt that into ourselves, and then we show up a certain way and we judge ourselves on it. Or we see somebody else show up a way that we don't approve, that they're living their life in a way that we would not prefer. And then we judge them and we put them down or we gossip about them. And that is also denying love to them, and it affects us. Now, by all means, I'm not saying that you should just unconditionally love those that may have physically harmed you or done something very rough to you. Or, in my example, I've had people that have stolen money from me. I've also been jumped and beaten by bats. I've also had people physically attack me, and I've had my heart broken, and I'm not going to go down the list of all my traumas, but the point is, those may not be people that I invite to Thanksgiving dinner. Those may not be people I choose to hang out with on the weekend. But more I deny forgiving them, and more I deny loving myself, regardless of what happened, I'm just hurting me. And I'm allowing a parasite within me to grow and to attach and suck away my mental energy, my emotional energy, my spiritual energy. And then that drains us. Let's pretend you have 100 blocks of energy a day. And if 40 of those are given away to judging others, judging yourself, and beating yourself up, you only got 60 blocks left. And then maybe, interacting with social people and humans and work and different things takes away another 20 or 30. And then you wonder why you have no time or energy for yourself, or you're not showing up the way you want to in your relationships, or you're not showing up the way you want to in your personal life or in your work life or your career, because you're drained from these judgments and punishing you're doing to yourself. So the way to flip this around is stop punishing yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. And if you want to learn how to really do this on a much deeper level, on how to forgive yourself and do deeper work, you can click the link down below, jump on a free call with me, and step into coaching with me, and I will teach you how to shift your life into a thriving mentality through the Shift and Thrive method, and truly step into the best version of yourself. Now that might sound like floaty, topical world, but it's an actual way to live, where you live in bliss. You live from inner peace. You live from what I call the thriving state, and you're not held back from these blockages of blame and punishment and denial of self-love. All right, thanks for listening. Hope you guys are having a great day. Another video probably popping up over there somewhere, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace, love, namaste, my friends.